Imagine achieving global fame from a moment that almost destroyed your life. In the mid-2000s, Kim Kardashian was mostly known for being the daughter of a celebrated lawyer, Robert Kardashian, from the O.J. Simpson case, and for frequenting Los Angeles high society circles. She worked as a stylist for celebrities, including for her friend Paris Hilton, but still lived in the shadow of other celebrities. Everything changed in 2007, when a media scandal rocked his world, the leak of a personal, intimate video. What could have been a devastating blow to his reputation became, against all odds, the catalyst for his future empire. Instead of hiding or letting shame define her, Kim and her family made a bold decision. They turned global attention into a platform to present themselves to the world on their own terms. The result? The premiere, that same year, of the reality show Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Week after week, millions of viewers knew Kim not only for that scandal, but for her personality, her family closeness, and her charisma. What started as a television curiosity soon became a pop culture phenomenon. Kim knew how to transform adversity into opportunity. From being the object of morbidity in the tabloids, she became a public figure who controlled her own narrative. And while many still judged her by her past, she was already beginning to map out the plan for something much bigger. From fame to entrepreneurship. Fame alone is short-lived, but Kim Kardashian understood how to turn it into a lasting business. Following the launch of her reality show, she took every opportunity to build a strong, personal brand. She appeared on magazine covers, became an influencer before the term existed, and most of all, learned the commercial value of her name. In those early years, Kim and her sisters opened clothing boutiques. Dash, remember, launched perfume lines, and collaborated on affordable fashion collections. Kim was beginning to position herself not only as a celebrity, but as a businesswoman. However, his first steps in the business world were trial and error. Some initiatives worked moderately, such as her clothing lines and her famous mobile app, Kim Kardashian Hollywood, while others were forgotten. Far from being discouraged, each experience left him with a lesson. Kim understood that in order to succeed, he had to find something more authentic, a project that connected with his own story and satisfied a real need in the market. That spark came from an unexpected source, her own fashion and beauty routine. For years, Kim had publicly shared her secret to achieving the perfect look under clothes. She used shapewear and shapewear to sculpt her figure at events, although she often had to trim, sew, or even dye those garments to fit her body and skin tone. He had discovered, in his own flesh, a void in the fashion industry. And so, without knowing it yet, the idea of his most successful venture began to take shape. The birth of SKIMS, reinventing shapewear. Years later, that idea incubated in Kim's mind took shape. Kim Kardashian, now a more experienced businesswoman, decided to create her own shapewear line. The motivation? Solving the same problem she had faced, finding comfortable, effective, and suitable garments for all bodies. In 2019, together with her partners Emma and Jens Grede, Kim officially launched her brand under an initially controversial name, Kimono. The concept was personal, a nod to its own name, but the choice drew immediate criticism for cultural appropriation, as kimono is the name of a traditional Japanese garment. Far from letting this controversy ruin his release, Kim reacted quickly and humbly. He renamed the brand SKIMS, a more neutral name that evoked the idea of a second skin. This decision, made just weeks before the official launch, demonstrated Kim's ability to listen to the public and pivot strategically without losing momentum. From day one, SKIMS was born with a different proposal. Kim poured her values and learnings into the brand. She wanted all women, of all sizes and skin tones, to find in SKIMS an ally to feel confident and beautiful. That's why SKIMS' shapewear, bodysuits, and underwear were launched in a wide range of sizes, from XXS to 5XL, and in an inclusive nude color palette that encompassed multiple skin tones. This was revolutionary in a market accustomed to uniformity. Every detail had Kim's personal stamp. Remember when she confessed that she had been designing her own girdles for 15 years? It was no exaggeration. She herself contributed to the design of the pieces, looking for elastic but comfortable materials, which would mold without suffocating. Kim wanted to banish the idea that wearing a girdle was embarrassing or outdated. In her words and campaigns, shapewear went from a secret hidden under clothing to a symbol of celebration of curves and confidence. The launch of SKIMS was nothing short of spectacular. In September 2019, when the online store first opened, the site collapsed in the face of the flood of buyers. In a matter of minutes, SKIMS sold products for $2 million, leaving the initial merchandise almost sold out. Imagine thousands of items flying from the virtual store in 10 minutes. Not even Kim, with all his experience in breaking the internet, anticipated such overwhelming demand. That day, as his team scrambled to replenish inventory, it became clear that SKIMS had something special. I had managed to connect with the real need and with the desire of people to support a brand created by a woman who knew the product firsthand. Kim had once again transformed her narrative. From being the young woman involved in a scandal, she was now seen as a visionary entrepreneur who offered innovative solutions, explosive growth, and a global phenomenon. After the successful release of SKIMS, the question was, could Kim keep up the pace and even expand it? The answer came soon, and in spades. SKIMS stopped being just Kim Kardashian's shapewear brand to become an expanding empire. Every collection she launched, whether it was new ranges of underwear, pajamas, loungewear, or swimwear, sold out quickly, fueling word of mouth and customer loyalty. In its first year, SKIMS sold more than 3 million products, a staggering number for such a young company. That initial success attracted the attention of investors and financial media. In just 2 years, several rounds of financing raised the company's valuation to astonishing levels. By 2021, SKIMS was already valued at more than $1.6 billion, and by the beginning of 2022, its valuation had risen to $3.2 billion. In 2023, following another high-profile investment round, SKIMS reached an impressive valuation of $4 billion. Behind those numbers was something more powerful: the validation that Kim's vision was not only a reality, but that it could be enduring and highly profitable. But SKIMS' success wasn't just based on sales or money. It was built on a dynamic brand with cultural reach. Kim proved to be an innate marketing strategist, making the most of the power of social media and the influence of her own name. She modeled many of the products herself in photos and videos with her unmistakable style, generating headlines and trends every time she published a new campaign. In addition, she integrated her family and famous friends into the promotion. It was common to see Kylie, Kendall, Kourtney, or Khloe Kardashian wearing SKIMS outfits on Instagram, as well as high-level celebrities such as Rosalia, Kate Moss, or Tyra Banks participating in their campaigns. The brand became ubiquitous in the digital world, with millions of young, and not so young, wanting to be part of this revolution of convenience and personal confidence. One of the keys was that SKIMS achieved unexpected and brilliant collaborations. Kim understood that to keep the brand fresh, she had to ally herself with different worlds. For example, in 2021, SKIMS announced a partnership with the U.S. Women's Olympic Team, supplying official loungewear and underwear for athletes at the Tokyo Games. The news that a shapewear brand would dress Olympians reinforced SKIMS' image as more than just fashion. It was functional and worthy of the sporting elite. That same year, something historic happened in fashion. SKIMS launched a capsule collection with the luxury house Fendi. Who would have imagined a Roman haute couture brand collaborating with a reality star's shapewear brand? Well, it happened, and the furor was such that the Fendi X SKIMS collection sold out in a flash. In a single minute, more than $1 million worth of garments were sold, including luxury items such as $1,100 leggings and almost $3,000 jackets. These collaborations elevated SKIMS' status, legitimizing her in both luxury and pop culture. SKIMS also knew how to diversify intelligently. In 2022 and 2023, the brand expanded its catalog beyond women's shapewear. It introduced innovative bra lines, such as a model that mimics the effect of marked nipples, going viral for its boldness, and launched its long-awaited men's collection. To introduce SKIMS men, Kim turned to powerful sports icons: soccer player Neymar Jr., NFL star Nick Bosa, and NBA player Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, appeared in the ad campaign sporting the men's underwear. Once again, Kim moved the pieces precisely. With those ambassadors, he communicated that SKIMS was for everyone, men or women, celebrities or ordinary people, athletes or fashionistas. At the same time, the company was preparing to leave the virtual world and conquer the physical space. Unlike many digital brands that take years to make the leap to stores, SKIMS did it quickly and with strategy. Just 5 months after its online launch in February 2020, SKIMS debuted in Nordstrom stores in the United States, offering its products in 25 stores of the chain. The reception was enormous, generating millions of impressions in the media. Subsequently, points of sale arrived in select luxury stores such as Selfridges and Harrods in Europe, and in 2024, their own flagship stores were opened, starting with a spectacular store on New York's iconic Fifth Avenue. By 2025, Kim planned dozens more openings in the United States, Mexico, London, and Dubai, taking her message of inclusivity and comfortable style globally. With all this travel, it is not surprising that SKIMS touched $1 billion in annual sales in record time. In 2023, it exceeded $750 million in revenue, with an annual growth of 50%, and was named by Time magazine as one of the 100 most influential companies of the year. Kim Kardashian, that young woman who many did not take seriously, became the founder of a fashion company recognized with innovation awards and studied in business schools. Even Harvard invited her to exhibit about SKIMS in their classrooms, and she began to be seen as more than just a celebrity. She was now a shrewd entrepreneur and leader of a global brand. Stumbling blocks along the way, the end of SKKN and renewed focus. At the peak of success with SKIMS, Kim Kardashian did not settle and continued to diversify her business portfolio. She tried her luck again in the beauty industry, a field she already knew, launching a new skincare and makeup brand called SKKN by Kim in 2022. With this project, Kim aspired to repeat her sister Kylie Jenner's feat in cosmetics, or even surpass her past achievements with KKW Beauty, her previous makeup line. But not all projects shine as expected. From the start, SKKN faced challenges. The skincare market was saturated with celebrities. Consumers questioned whether the products offered something truly new, and price was an obstacle. The line debuted with an eye-catching 9-step skincare kit, costing more than $600. Many Kim fans, accustomed to his more approachable image on SKIMS, felt that SKKN was moving away from that inclusive philosophy. The brand was labeled as excessive and impractical, becoming inaccessible to a large part of its audience. Kim tried to correct course. In 2023, SKKN had a makeup relaunch in hopes of reinvigorating interest, but the results didn't improve enough. At the same time, SKIMS continued to sweep sales and media attention, eclipsing any other project. There came a point when Kim had to make a difficult decision, one of those that test a true entrepreneur, when to retire in time from a business that does not take off. With honesty and deep gratitude to those who supported the adventure, in the summer of 2025, Kim announced the definitive closure of SKKN by Kim. In a thoughtful statement, he acknowledged that sometimes things don't go as we expected, and that it was time to learn from mistakes. Admitting a stumble publicly is not easy, but Kim did it with the same frankness with which years ago she faced her personal scandal. Behind that decision, there were clear strategic errors. On the one hand, SKKN failed to define a unique value proposition in a hyper-competitive market. The 9-step routine proved overwhelming and expensive in an era where simplicity is sought. On the other hand, the brand perhaps leaned too much on the Kardashian name and not enough on the actual quality or innovation of the product. Kim underestimated how much the consumer had changed. Her followers loved her, yes, but that didn't guarantee that they would spend hundreds of dollars on creams without distinguishing them from more affordable ones. The lesson was hard but valuable. Far from stubborn, Kim decided to refocus her energy on her crown jewel, SKIMS. In fact, it consolidated its efforts by unifying its companies. At the beginning of 2025, SKIMS absorbed SKKN's operations, including buying the shares of its partner Coty, which took $1 million loss when it went out of business. This move sent a powerful message. Kim was going to focus on what she did best: doubling down on SKIMS and her vision of transforming the comfy fashion industry. Interestingly, SKKN's closure didn't dent Kim's image. On the contrary, many praised her for knowing when to stop. Instead of clinging to a failed project out of pride, she showed emotional intelligence to say, "This didn't work, and that's okay." In the volatile business world, sometimes abandoning an idea in time saves your legacy more than dwelling on it. Kim learned that her attention is a limited resource, and that it should be invested in what really made a difference. And so, with humility and determination, he turned the helm of his empire towards a clearer and firmer course. Legacy and lessons from a business vision. Kim Kardashian's journey, from that initial media crisis to her current position, leaves us with profound business lessons wrapped in an almost novelistic narrative. Kim built his empire on a powerful personal story. He knew how to tell it to the world in an authentic way, turning curiosity into empathy and empathy into commercial support. In his business, he understood the importance of offering something that connected with people on an emotional level. SKIMS doesn't just sell shapewear or comfy clothes. Sell the promise of feeling good about yourself, empowerment, and inclusion. Kim took advantage of the visibility given to her by pop culture to forge a legacy beyond the spotlight, proving that fame can be fleeting, but a well-established business can endure. One of the great lessons of his story is how to turn adversity into triumph. We saw it when he transformed a scandal into a successful television platform, and then when he detected a need of his own, better designed shapewear, and turned it into a solution for millions. Kim teaches us that behind every successful business there is usually an honest narrative. Her audience knew about her insecurities with clothes, about her search for products that they could not find in the market, and that is why they embraced SKIMS with such passion. She knew how to weave her own vulnerability into the value proposition of her brand, making her customers feel understood and part of a community. Another invaluable lesson is to recognize when to say goodbye. SKKN's closure in 2025 might be seen as a failure, but Kim made it an act of wisdom. In the business world, persevering is important, but just as important is identifying which battles are not worth fighting. Kim protected her main brand by not allowing a side project to weigh it down. He showed that focus is power. By concentrating all his resources on SKIMS, he secured its continued growth and leadership position. In a way, resigning from SKKN was also a gesture of respect for her clientele and for herself, a way of saying, "My commitment is to give them the best, and if something is not up to par, it is time to rethink it." Finally, Kim Kardashian's business story is an example of how visibility can become a legacy. Many celebrities try to launch products taking advantage of her name, but few manage to transcend as she has done. Kim understood that fame is a platform, not an end in itself. He used his huge audience to drive a business that, with or without his constant presence, has solid foundations, a good product, a clear mission, and a genuine connection with his audience. Today, SKIMS is a brand that could very well survive the Kardashian era, expand around the world, and perhaps one day even go public. That will be Kim's true legacy, having gone from being a well-known face on TV to being the mentor of a generation of entrepreneurs who see her journey as a roadmap. A map that says that the path to success is not a straight line, but a series of reinventions, falls, and elevations, and that in the end, with vision and heart, you can turn your personal story into an inspiration for millions. In a warm, firm, and thoughtful voice, imagine Kim looking back. Every chapter of her life, the girl who turned a stumble into fame, the entrepreneur who reinvented an industry, the boss who knew how to admit mistakes, has led her to this moment. His voice would tell us, it doesn't matter where you come from or what people say about you. You can write your own story. I did. I turned my vulnerability into strength and my name into a brand that I hope will leave a mark. And if I could, maybe you can too. This is how our story ends, with the feeling of having witnessed not only the evolution of a business, but the transformation of a woman who turned her visibility into a legacy. Deep down, that has always been Kim Kardashian's real secret.